everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Neha here. In today's video, I'm sharing my 1 week update of using this Differin Adapalene Gel 0.1%, the first FDA-approved over-the-counter retinoid for acne treatment. Now, I have used this only 4 times so far, and honestly, I wasn't expecting such a quick change. So let's talk about what this product claims, how it works, how it's different from retinoic acid, and what differences I started noticing on my skin just after first application. Now, this is a topical retinoid. Previously, it was only prescription-based, but now it's available OTC as well. I bought mine from Amazon US. It's FDA approved, it's dermatologist developed, it's oil-free and fragrance-free. It's to be applied once daily. It says on the package, but I feel, if you have never used this, don't apply it every single night. Go with, once or twice in a week and then adjust as your skin responds. The active ingredient here is Adapalene 0.1%. Now, Adapalene is specifically approved for acne treatment, blackheads, whiteheads, clogged pores, and mild to moderate acne. The box also mentions all the important precautions. It has a lot of information actually. I feel that's the reason why it is so big, because if I show you the actual product, where is the tube? It's this. It's too small as compared to the package, and I'm like, why? There has to be such a big package for a small tube like this. Anyways, so it says you don't use it on damaged, irritated, sunburnt, eczema-prone skin. Avoid eyes, lips, corners of the nose where you may experience sensitivity. You don't use this during pregnancy. You avoid waxing those areas after you have used this product. Avoid waxing those areas. Limit your sun exposure, which is understandable from using a retinoid. And sunscreen is a must, again, mandatory. And like all retinoids, purging and irritation are normal to happen in the early weeks, and results that you can notice take about 3 months. So before I get into the science, let me first tell you why I even got this Differin Adapalene Gel in the first place. So I didn't get it for acne. Although I do face occasional acne, I don't suffer from chronic acne. If you do suffer from chronic acne, I would suggest go to a dermatologist and get the right recommendations for products and your routine. I get acne at times, when my skin might be reacting to certain products, or after I have shaved my face and I use some product that could be irritating to my freshly shaved skin. So I will get a couple of breakouts here and there, and my main reason to buy this was not acne, it was anti-aging. So I do get a couple of breakouts here and there. The acne situation is not consistent enough for me to go to a dermatologist. And honestly, for me right now, going through that entire process of taking appointments, prescription, buying the medication, just felt unnecessary. If I ever have a proper skin concern, of course I will go to a dermatologist. But for what kind of acne I'm dealing with, I don't need that kind of intervention yet, and hopefully forever. My real reason to buy this is to test it for its anti-aging benefits. That's it. I wanted something stronger, something like a step up from my other OTC retinoids that I've been using, but still gentle enough that I didn't have to jump straight to prescription tretinoin. So Adapalene felt like the perfect next step in my retinoid journey. Stronger, more effective, but still accessible and manageable. And the fact that it only says make a claim for acne on the box, I started to wonder why there is no claim for anti-aging, although everywhere you read about Adapalene, it does have some anti-aging benefits as well. And according to the studies, what I found, Adapalene and retinoic acid, they do have some basic differences. Retinoic acid, which you see in tretinoin, is the most active form of vitamin A, the strongest, the purest, and the most researched form of retinoid for acne and anti-aging. But it's also the most irritating, and that's why it is only prescription. Adapalene, on the other hand, is a newer third-generation retinoid. It works on the same family of receptors, but it's designed to be more stable, more selective, and far less irritating. That's why Differin 0.1% is available over the counter. It's powerful enough to make changes in the skin, but gentle enough for most people to tolerate without prescription supervision. But what about anti-aging? So even though Differin is marketed as anti-acne, that's the FDA approval, we do have studies that shows Adapalene helps with photoaging. A clinical trial found that Adapalene 0.3% was comparable to tretinoin 0.05% in improving wrinkles, pigmentation, and overall photoaged skin. Other studies show Adapalene improves skin texture and tone over time, especially with consistent use, and with fewer side effects compared to tretinoin. So yes, Adapalene is also used for aging off the label for beginners or people with sensitive skin. And for me personally, it felt like the safest and the most logical upgrade from my regular OTC retinoids without jumping into the deep end with prescription tretinoin. So I have used it on alternate nights, so 4 applications in total. And I will be honest, the next morning after my first application, I saw a sudden visible change, like my skin started to look more even. And I was surprised, literally. And it was dramatic. My skin looked more even. The darkness around the mouth looked slightly lighter. My under eye area looked more even. Overall, my face looked more uniform and less dull. The gel texture spreads easily. You only need a pea-sized amount. It feels very lightweight, no heavy or greasy finish. There is no feeling of burning or redness I felt, maybe for the reason because my skin is already adjusted to retinols and retinols for the past 4 years that I've been using them. And on the nights I wasn't using Differin, I used my other products like other OTC retinoids, maybe a bakuchiol, maybe the phytoretinol cream that I have. I would probably not recommend mixing so many actives for beginners, but since my skin is used to retinoids, it didn't react badly. One of the instructions clearly say avoid getting too close to eye area or the mouth. But in my experience, I did not read that instruction at first. I personally did apply it all over my face, just like my other regular moisturizers, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. Maybe because, as I mentioned, that I have been using retinoids, it could be the reason that my skin is already attuned, adjusted to this kind of formulation. But if you're new and you're just trying out, follow all the instructions that come with this box. So I applied it after washing my face, patting it dry. Once it was completely dry, I used a pea-sized amount directly, spread it across the entire face, and then I applied another moisturizer on top. And sunscreen, of course, every single day. And the instruction also clearly says you don't use this more than once a day. Clearly says more does not mean faster result, it means more irritation. So far, after using it for almost a week, I'm really impressed. If you ask me today, I'm definitely going to repurchase it. I didn't expect my skin to look so even toned after just one application. This doesn't mean it works as an anti-aging treatment, but the clarity and the tone I'm noticing, it feels quite promising. I'm going to continue using, this full tube. It might last me for 2 months, with the frequency that I'm using. And I'll give you a full update once I finish this. So if you have used Differin gel before, tell me your experience in the comments. I would love to know, especially if you're also in your 30s or 40s or you are brown skin just like myself. I would love to compare notes. And that's all for today's video. I'll see you all in my next video. Until then, stay tuned, stay beautiful.